Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bad End Theater. This is a really good game, literally 5 out of 5 stars or 10 out of 10 stars on Steam. Um, I got recommended by someone in my Discord server to play it a very long time ago, and here it is for Valentine's Day. Let's play it. We'll enter the theater. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On the stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whatever doll you'd like. You are the human doll or the demon doll. As the demon doll, do I get like extra powers? But I want to stick something true to myself. I am human. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How you will interact with the demon doll? I'll play nice. You try to make friends with the demon doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. I am now a demon. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy just minding your own business. How you interact with the human doll? I want to play nice. You and the human doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Yay! Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this. I shouldn't have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay it from the doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now, try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Oh. Hostile. The demon doll is very wicked. I'm the human doll. Yes, and I will attack it. You both end up attack each other at once and die together. In tutorial. Reset the stage. I'll be the demon doll this time. Yes, I will attack. And we both die again. I'm done. Do you understand how to play? Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. I'm a lovey-dovey person. I don't want to collect the bad endings, but we're gonna figure this out. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. Alright. I am the maiden. You are the maiden. You live peacefully in the village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you are fated to be captured by the overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You are in church and you pray to your God, asking why you have been born into this role of a maiden. I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit. Okay. Asking why you haven't been born into... oh, wait. You respected the divine plan and all, but you just really were curious as to the point of this, and you are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to fight a demon, just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Hello, demon. You tell the demon your name and explain you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid. You think, why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. In the end, I got consumed. Wow, of course this is my ending. Let's reset the stage. I'll do the other thing this time. Here we are. A shout for a hero to come save you. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. And it's the same thing, of course. Why would anything change here? I don't understand why I thought anything would change. Let's reset the stage. I'm the hero. You are the hero, and you like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures, fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where the entire demon army hangs out? You just don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on the adventure to rescue the maiden, but demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, and you make it to the castle's front gate, you are faced with an army of demons that look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Ask if they'll let you in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you come here, and they stare at you, and you feel very uncomfortable. They seem to trust you and escort you directly into the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is done. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's ever come here in forever, at least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found, because she was dead. Useless hero. The hero's adventure was pointless. He returns home. Okay. Reset the stage. And change this. Dutiful. Alright, let's slay everything. We're going to kill the demons and the army and bravely slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Let's cut through them. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's why you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing, murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance in convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You become stronger from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not done yet. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in a cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. He never knows what becomes of the maiden. Alright. Let's go into the underling. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place staring at nothing. You feel like you're going to go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss anyway? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserves to get kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into assassination plots, and should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's overthrow her. No, you're sick of the Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for change of management. Your friends suggest that maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce that your first act of rebellion is to take the day off like you want it. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them that you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, free and wild. As you make your way along the path in the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Gobble her up. This is what happens all the time. Anyway, maidens aren't the best meal, but you figured you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought, and feeling quite proud of that. The other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into a nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience screams grew louder. Applause. You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. Revenge on what? What did the humans do to you? As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice the sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out with one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. We started a massacre only to get killed with one shot. Let's reset the stage. We could go to the Overlord. Let's go to the Overlord. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is to dethrone you. What's her deal anyway? You've actually actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'd leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to this whole Overlord thing. If you're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being an evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to a higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks in your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What do you do with this underling? Tell them to go back to work. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underlying and lie down in your nice, comfy Overlord bed. All the lecturing makes you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quickly. Just another one of your amazing talents as Overlord. You awake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, the guy? You rush out in the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him very rudely and inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding return the maiden you've held in captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With a decisive swing and stabs, he cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you could be stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you get swallowed by darkness. Let's reset the stage and see how we can change everything. I think we're gonna have to start with making the underling a little bit nicer. Maybe. Let's not! You tell your friends that you were totally not serious about this whole thing, and you're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'état, what would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. Wild and free. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask this time. You consider your options. Hear her out. Why not? You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would be a possibility to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the demon overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the overlord. The overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The overlord nods and says everything's cool, as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with the easygoing boss she is, and mention how you can't believe you and your friends would ever consider overthrowing her. And then she gives you a look, and you say, that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decided it's about time for a nap. Oh, so now the maiden's in the castle. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask what their deal is. They say they're planning the whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you could of course reply with, that sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead? Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. She's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask why they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. I was faithful all the way, and I got killed. Alright. See, the overlord... Okay, let's change the overlord's perspective. We're not gonna yell at him and see what happens. Grant them the day off. You tell them, go take a break from stifling the castle atmosphere and fresh your dark soul. A day off should be fine, everyone once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing left to do today, so you decide to nap. And there's a knock on your door. It's the maiden from a nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she has been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture. So she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her that you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seemed very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand that question. You think the world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks you in the eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. Let's let her stay for a while. No. You can't bring herself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not all what she expected them to be. You are glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as to not agitate them, and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people in my village have been left unharmed. It's because your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs and says at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who was rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that the whole misunderstanding had led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up in your heart. You're surprised that you had one to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Keep her here. But then he's gonna slay us. I'll let him go. That's what true love is, about letting someone go. But maybe she'll come back, who knows? You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and the maiden gone, you plop down onto the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will come back soon. You close your eyes for a while. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and the hero burst into your room frantically, trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised how nice the humans are to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone, to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that makes you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. Your group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You and the maiden and the hero and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underlings pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those who you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that had nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have you kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Forgive them. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better, but we're all gonna die in the burning room anyway. Besides, they already got their punishment. You all burn together? The Overlord's true end. That's the true end? Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself? What was the point to all my effort if the true end is this terrible? Well, that's the essence of bad end theater, isn't it? You must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, you should have been well aware of what you be shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to the little cast, and you start to relate to their flaws and their plights. You start wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find any in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Oh, come to think of it, you reached the first true end. Very quickly, I'm impressed. But there's no need to rush. Please take all your time while exploring all the horrible possibilities. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on the next ending is always yours. I'll leave it to you, dear guest. Alright. Let's reset the stage. Alright. Dutiful, hungry, antisocial, and possessive. Maybe? Well, you can't really be possessive, someone you're antisocial about. Let's go back to this. I'm gonna be antisocial as heck, and maybe they'll walk away, and then they won't get killed. Tell them to go back to work. Back to work. Oh, I didn't even get a chance to meet the maiden. Oh, that's because hold on. My bad. You gotta do disloyal, not hungry, right? Maybe dutiful and polite and disloyal and antisocial. Oh, I'm Overlord. I'm trying to get it to where we bring the maiden in, but the hero still attacks us. So, you're interested in the guest. Say that she better go home. You love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. Oh, we're forced to socialize anyway. I'm gonna be possessive. The maiden is different. She softens your heart. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underlings roughhousing, no big deal. Oh, there is a commotion. Here we go. You know, it's possibly a hero. But you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that your arming will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room, but he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there, unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces, all strewn about your castle, has really taken it out of you. The hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The hero started babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you are beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You have had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there's nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are done. And you are alone. Alright. That's what happens. I got it to happen, guys! Okay. Okay, diplomatic. You're always polite. Is there anything else about you, maiden? Let's try the maiden again. Shout for the hero to come save you. The demon is put off by your sudden shouting, asks you to keep it down, and you apologize. They seem more confused than hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You tell the demon your name and explain you're a maiden from the village. You tell them that you were thinking that you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agreed to take you to their master, nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the Overlord turns to you, looking very interested. You explain why you come, and she squints at you. It turns out she has never had any plans to capture maidens or do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen, then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe that you've been lied to all this time. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be more a suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. The Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. She wants to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude. You just got here. Fine. I'll obey her. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks us what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is, right there? You explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him and asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve. You're very upset that the so-called hero would treat you this way and leave in a huff. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with thousands of questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain, that Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here. You notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He is rudely calling you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what they much have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you return without the aid of a hero? They ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't so horrible, the horrible creatures we know them to be. So they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by the fears and hatreds of things they never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You are seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned by the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder what it would have been like to hide the truth. You don't like the thought of that. You have always lived honestly, so why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices in your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, humans suck. Let's do this again. refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her that you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commands her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you never heard of any demons attacking your town. You expressed your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says, as you can fake her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really, they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be a super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kinda like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, we always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, the hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, then you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that the whole misunderstanding hadn't led him to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left Cheese? The hero asks you to return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious-looking demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her. But the hero shakes his head and says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow it down. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly didn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognize from the before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised that they were part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You are relieved when the Overlord demands silence and threatens them with violence, and you think she is very Overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss at each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds the door in distress. Have they all locked you in? You have this bad feeling about this, and thinking it must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have been stumbling into this situation. If you had pretended not to hear them, if you had left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. The path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling, and they beg for their life. You pray, you don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce into the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing, while you continue to pray. But there's no saving any of you now. You and the Overlord and the hero and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. Wow. Flee like a coward. Cut for the demon army. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer without them. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after the other on your way to the Overlord's chambers. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord just as you suspected. But for some reason you can't sense anything sinister happening. You look at each other in surprise and confusion, but there is no time to hesitate. Destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward, driving the blade for the evil Overlord. She screams and falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it, after slight hesitation. She must be surprised of how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are pleased with the good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village had ever seen. Wow. That's it? Heroic. Diplomatic and heroic. Let's go back to the hero. Dun da da. Da da da. Flee like a coward. Ask if they'll let you in. Nay, they look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward, driving your blade for the evil Overlord. She screams and falls silent. The Overlord had been slain. You smile and offer the maiden your hand. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. But you didn't slay the rest of the demons. You didn't slay the rest of the demons. What are the demons gonna do? Dang. We are granted the ability to go outside. Hello, maiden. She greets you and has a favor to ask. Hear her out. Oh no, I guess I will side with them this time. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them that you're just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it, and say that they're always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'll be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal didn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of fox confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan, and you're curious to see if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they would just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There's probably be casualties if you fought her head on. And while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. And really didn't want it to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak up in the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you have brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figured this was as good as a chance as any to launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something in the corner. Thank you for saving me? It wasn't your intention, but it did sound like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are now the new overlord. Wow. We actually saved the maiden from the possessive overlord. I'm gonna turn evil. This is gonna be an evil overlord now. You don't want him to take this maiden from you. Keep her here. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero that you won't let him take her home. The maiden assured you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. You take a step towards the maiden, and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. Something sharp pierces your back. The hero? No, it's one of your underlings. The maiden screams. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart. With their claws, you struggle to retaliate. You've done too much damage, and you can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You have been slain by your own underling. Oh no. Let's reset the stage. I had it to where he ate her? No, that's not what I meant to do. No, wait, I was gonna obey her. And I was gonna not tell the village about everything. Oh. Oh. I didn't even have an option. Never mind. Honestly, I'm satisfied with the endings I did get, because we got the main ending pretty quickly. And we get the whole workaround in the story. I think there's a lot of ways this could have gone, but that was bad end theater. I did not get all the endings. There's 41 endings to get. I got 13 of them. So if you guys want to play around with the endings, and I recommend the game. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Okay? Goodbye.